Okay, we will start this presentation. Good morning and happy Tuesday. My name is Dr. Vladimir St. Sarin. I serve as the interim dean of students at the North Campus and for West Hill Center. Along with me, you'll see two beautiful young ladies on the screen. We have Dean Kristen Spiker over at the Allegheny Campus and the Homewood Progression Center. And we have Dr. Tiffany Evans, who is at the South Campus, but also serves with the Braddock Hill Center and the Washington Center as well. We're going to talk to you this morning. First, welcome back, right? But then also provide you some information just so we could all together get through this unprecedented time, right? Try to see what can we learn, what can we help, but then also what support that we have. So we'll go through this presentation, but then we'll definitely offer Q&A at the end. And I also do have two individuals working with us through the Student Life Department with Ms. Kate Farmer and Mr. Benjamin Williams. They'll be helping us also within this presentation. We'll go on to the next slide, please. So now, the glaring question is, how can I get any access to my student services? Or how can I talk with this person? How can I pay a bill? How can I do whatever, right? We'll try to see if we can provide the best information for you as now working remotely and working virtually, and your classes predominantly will be working remotely as well, right? So we'll show you how can we get all this information or find information for yourself through our virtual services. Next slide, please. One of our wonderful tools that we do have is our website. So if you go on www.ccac.edu, right on the main page, if you go through, there's a tab right at the top. If you scroll through the tab at the top, you'll see all different key points, key different services, key different offices. The main point or main tab that we normally try to push students toward to is our student services tab. And as you can see, it's the one that has the upside down triangle right there. And if you look to the left, it talks about the bookstore, counseling service, different links, the online dean, which we'll get into detail, technology services, as well as tutoring services. But if you click on where it says go to student services, next slide, please. That will bring you to our student service page, but then we also want students to focus on the student resources as well. Right down the middle of the main page, you'll see our main man, Ace, or woman, Ace, will be pointing at you. That's our mascot. They'll provide some information for you where you can see how it talks about the fall semester, whether you're still enrolling, whether you're talking about virtual advising or having questions about registering for class. Those links right in the middle of the web page will provide you some information. But if you look to the right a little bit when you're still there, you'll see where we have specifically COVID-19 student resources where it provides specific detailed and specific information pertaining to our response. Next slide, please. From there, there's a plethora of information for you. But as you can see on the screen in front of you, we've highlighted two key components that we want students to be prepared for, but want students to be aware of. The first one is our self-screening questionnaire, and the second one is our student guides for returning to on-site courses. But besides that, you can still get some more information. We have the FAQ page that I think we sent out to you in the mail. We also have our potential and known exposure reporting. You could view CCAC's health and safety plan and all other information on that link. Next slide, please. From there, this is something that we want students to be aware of, but we want you to ask yourself these daily self-screening questions upon your arrival if you would be coming at a CCAC location. Question number one, do you have a temperature at or above 100.4 or any reason to be concerned that you are developing a temperature? Question number two, have you experienced any of the following symptoms that cannot be attributed to another health condition or specific activity? And then it goes through, or it could be a new cough, whether it be shortness of breath, a new sore throat, new muscle aches. Question number three, have you had a temperature at or above 100.4 or the sense of having a fever? Question number four, within the last 14 days, have you had close contact without the use of appropriate personnel protective equipment with someone who is currently sick with suspected or confirmed COVID-19? Now, if you answer yes to any of these questions, next slide, please, You have the option to reach out to your instructor, which then will reach out to us, or you could directly reach out to the Dean of Students. We have an online Dean platform that you could choose as well to reach out to. You just click on that link right there where it says Online Dean, and you'll be able to contact us. But if you see right there underneath Dean of Student Development, you can click on our name and they'll send us a direct email, a direct message. From there, we will reach out to you, we will talk to you, and we will have a further conversation pertaining to that. The information will not be shared. We would not want to make sure we don't violate HIPAA, any other laws. We want to make sure we have that conversation to make you feel supported. If you would answer yes to any of these questions, and it will provide information following. Next slide, please. In addition to the student resources under your My CCAC, which we will talk about if you're a new student, how to establish a NetID. When you click on the COVID-19 student resources, it then gets into more detail, more information. And if you look on the second picture to your right, that's where it gets down to the calendar of events. This will list all the different resources and also different offices. It'll have the times that offices are available on a location, but it'll also offer the times and opportunities for students to either participate in virtual chat sessions, virtual information sessions, or just phone numbers to call those departments. Next slide, please. And this is what it'll probably look like. So if you can see where it says academic advisors, they'll give you the date, time. We have our wonderful CCAC navigators, our counselors, financial aid, even our tutoring services. They'll give you the weekly schedule of events for fall, and that's where you'll be able to click on the link to how to join a virtual session or email an individual or even call that department directly. Next slide, please. And now I'll hand it off to Dean Spiker.
Thank you, Dr. St. Cyrin. Welcome, everyone. Before I begin the slides, I just wanted to give you a quick bit of information about today's presentation. You will have the opportunity to type questions within the bottom banner of the presentation. Those questions will be answered live or electronically towards the end of the presentation, but please feel free to submit those and we will review those towards the end of the presentation. So I wanted to talk to you about the top 5 things that you should be doing as a student. Next slide, please. So first and foremost, for any of you that are new students, we most definitely encourage you to attend the new student orientation. That will occur this Friday and it will be occurring virtually. To sign up for the new student orientation, if you look on the screen, follow from the admissions tab to student orientation. You're going to be redirected to our appointment central where you will select a service. And from that service, you will select student orientation. There is a morning session and an afternoon session. There is plenty of room for everyone who would like to attend, and you will receive valuable information about college processes, college policies, things that you should make sure you're doing within your first semester. It is definitely something that you should plan to attend if you are able. Next slide, please. We also want to encourage new students as well as our current students to make sure that your NetID is set up and operating normally. To create your student NetID, you can go to the bottom of the CCAC homepage, select Student ID from the banner, and it will direct you right into the Welcome to NetID self-service. From there, you'll be able to create your NetID. For those current students, if you've forgotten your NetID, you'll be able to create a new password or reset your password. This is also where you will be able to make sure your academic email is set up and ready to go. Please remember, students are to be using their academic email for all correspondence with college staff and faculty. That is the email that faculty will expect you are using as you are submitting coursework in your courses. If you have any questions about this, you can also always follow up with the help desk and they can provide adequate direction for you. Next slide, please. It is important as a student to be aware of all of the important dates and deadlines that occur within the semester. So we have highlighted those for you on this slide. The last day to drop with an 80% charge on your account for both our 16-week semester as well as our 14-week semester. This tells you when midterm grades are available, the last day that you can withdraw, and when classes end for the semester and final exams begin. In addition to that, it will tell you things like when 2021 registration begins, an important date for all students. On the right-hand side, we've also included information surrounding financial aid. For those of you who have financial aid, you would see your first grant credit appear on your account September 17th, and it would follow through with the loan credits October 29th and November 2nd. The other important date you all need to be aware of is anyone who has financial aid has the opportunity to utilize those financial aid funds at our bookstore. And our bookstore charging period actually opened up this semester, August the 10th. So students are at this point able to go to the bookstore and charge their books to their account, provided their financial aid has hit their account. Next slide, please. So as we talk about the bookstore, we have both on-campus hours, but we also more importantly have delivery options for students as well. So you would visit the bookstore page right from the home page. It will provide you with the information about the hours, which are also located on the right hand of this slide. Next slide, please. We also wanted to point out for students that as we are in this unprecedented time and we are utilizing technology to its fullest extent, we want to make sure that you have the necessary technology to be successful within your courses, regardless of whatever modality you've selected, whether it be on campus, utilizing Zoom, or entirely online. We would direct you from the bookstore to CCAC's recommended technology devices, and those can be found within our bookstore, and you can utilize any grant monies you have on your account to purchase those as well. Food service for the fall semester will be limited on campus to the Allegheny and Boyce campuses. Please keep in mind we will also have Starbucks open at the Allegheny campus. So within the Allegheny and Boyce campuses, there will be grab and go opportunities for students. Within the bookstore, you can purchase meal cards to be able to purchase your food service items at the Allegheny and Boyce campuses. The other thing you need to be aware of is we do have touchless water fountains available on campus if you want to bring your water bottles with you so that you are able to fill them while you are here. And there will be vending machines available at most locations. Next slide, please. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tiffany Evans.
Thank you, Dean Spiker. Well, many of you may be wondering how you're going to afford college, and we have several different financial supports available to assist you with doing so. As you can see from the screen, we are providing you with the FAFSA.ed.gov website where you can complete your FAFSA application. We encourage all students to do that. There's also information available for you on our web, the CCAC Financial Aid webpage. In addition to that, we have an educational foundation, and there are several scholarships out there available for students. And by the way, for the fall 20 semester, those scholarship applications are due by August 21st. So you have a little bit of time to get that done, but you definitely want to make sure that you are on top of those deadlines. Quick financial aid facts here listed for you. We talked to you about the federal Stafford loan credits that will be applied to students' accounts in 2 installments per semester, so you're prepared for that. Students receiving aid that exceeds their tuition and book costs are sent a refund check or direct deposit, which is really nice. And you always want to check the financial aid page or information that's available through your My CCAC portal so that you have the most up-to-date information regarding your status. Next slide, please. In addition to those financial supports, we also have a student emergency gap fund application that's available for our students who might find themselves in a financial crisis. There are the eligibility criteria listed there for your review. You could submit those applications to your Dean of Student, And actually, students are limited to a maximum lifetime award of $1,000, but per semester, students are eligible to receive up to $500 for that student emergency gap fund. In addition to that, specifically due to the pandemic, we also have the COVID-19 emergency funds that are available to assist students. And you can complete that form and you can submit that to our financial aid office. And they have provided you with the information on the top of the form. Next slide. In terms of student advocacy, we have some special groups on campus that really assist us with this. We have our CCAC navigators. We have 3 of them that work on all of our campuses and center locations. They actually assist our students with connecting to community resources that may be available to assist them. And so they are extremely important to the work that is done here. In addition to that, we also have our supportive services department, and they help promote self-advocacy or student advocacy for our students that have a diagnosed disability. And so they play an important role as well. Next slide. In addition to that, I mentioned supportive services being available, but we also have specialized populations that have student success coaches as well as student specialists that work with our students. And so we have those individuals working through Pittsburgh Promise. We have a KEYS program. Our athletes have their own. Military and veterans also have student specialists. We have international students that have their own student specialists, as well as student success coaches and Perkins Career Technical Education Specialists. These individuals will help support our students in terms of navigating through the college system, as well as providing them with additional resources and engaging them in the college community. They can also provide some educational support. If you are interested in note-taking or time management skills, these groups of individuals can help you certainly identify techniques that are tried and true and actually help our students achieve success. Next slide, please. In addition to that, we have some learning supports that are available to assist our students. The Learning Commons is available if you need assistance or support in writing a paper. It doesn't matter what subject it is, but maybe you can't get started. So you can log on to our Learning Commons area and there will be a facilitator available to assist you with writing your papers. They won't do it for you, but they will definitely help you with that. They can also review papers that might be due in a particular subject for grammar and punctuation and things of that nature. As well as citing sources. That's extremely important. In addition to that, we have the Learning Assistance Center, which has a host of all different types, different tutors that focus, and they have different disciplines throughout the college. So that is a resource that's available for you. They will offer one-on-one support for students. So that's a great resource to use. We have the Math Cafe, which is available to assist if you need assistance with any of our math courses. They will be available to assist you as well. In addition to that, we have the Smart Thinking link, which is available. It's an online free tutorial service that's available to support our students as well. Next slide, please. Student engagement is extremely important in your success here at community college. If you are on our website and you look at the top banner, you'll see Student Life there. If you click there, it will go through a series of different icons or links that you can directly link into. We talk about our athletics and fitness there. Campus event calendar is listed there. We have food pantries at all of our locations. There are civic engagement activities that are taking place, clubs and organizations. We have a link to the Military and Veteran Services. We have our own campus newspaper. There's a student engagement transcript. So as you are engaging on campus and getting actively involved, your student engagement transcript will reflect that activity. We offer student discounts, which is a fantastic resource for students that's available through our student accounts office. You can actually go over and actually purchase discounted tickets for events across the city. In addition to that, student government is a great resource for students to get engaged on what's happening at campus. And so these are several different opportunities or ways that you can get engaged and become part of the campus community. Next slide, please. Also, as mentioned in a previous slide, I mentioned The Voice. That's one of the newspapers. It's a great resource for students to get information. You can see over on the left-hand side, we highlight student life and engagement and all of the great activities that they put together for our students and the programming all year long. New students are encouraged to attend virtual student orientation. They set up activities and fairs that are occurring virtually. In addition to that, we have single point of contact, which are individuals which will reach out to our students and kind of help them navigate through the college system. In addition to that, there's a continued social and academic program. Again, you can check that calendar that I mentioned in the previous slide. And there's an email address if you would like to contact our student engagement team. In addition to that, career services, they work very closely with our students and our academic divisions. They are available to do virtual appointments with students. They offer continued success workshops for our students that are transitioning into the workforce. They work with employers, local employers. They know about the opportunities that are available to you. And they also have provided their email address there. They will also provide some resume support if you need someone to take a look at a resume or a cover letter. It's a great resource to have as you're transitioning into the workforce. Next slide, please. Our athletes are extremely important to us, but in terms of fall athletics, it's important to note that we are moving those to the spring semester. We want to do what's best for our athletes and keep them safe in this environment. Our hope is to start practices in our open gym in October. We don't have a definite date now, but I showed you on the previous slide under student engagement where you can check the website to get the latest information regarding that. And for those of you who are athletes and you're concerned about your eligibility, it remains the same for the spring 2021 semester, so that's important to note. We've also listed the athletic director here. Her name is Tori O'Donnell. You can reach her either by email or phone, and her contact information is on the screen. Next slide. Student completion is extremely important to us, and we have some important individuals throughout the college that help us with doing that. We have academic advising that's available. They assist new students with advising, but they can also help with course selection for our continuing and resuming students. They will develop an academic plan with our students, and they will also review graduation requirements with students. In addition to that, we have our counselors, and our counselors are available to provide personal counseling, career counseling. If you're not sure what major to go into or what career to pursue or what fits you, they will help you figure that out. They also offer transfer counseling. Many of you may be thinking about transferring to a four-year institution. They will help you take the appropriate classes here at community college that will transfer into a bachelor's program at another university. In addition to that, they also provide academic counseling. And so both groups are available as resources for our students. Next slide, please. So as you're thinking about what to expect and coming back to campus, we want to reiterate that it's important to do the self-check questionnaires prior to coming to campus, okay? And you want to remember, as you're doing that self-questionnaire, if you answer yes to any of those questions, do not come to campus. Your next step is to alert your instructor as well as your dean of students to inform them, and then we'll go from there. In terms of face coverings, they're required for everyone on campus. If you need special accommodations, then you should reach out to our supportive services office. You want to make sure you maintain good hand hygiene, wash your hands often and frequently. Maintain physical distancing from individuals is extremely important. And remember that this is everyone's responsibility. Our goal is to keep you safe and provide you with an excellent educational opportunity here at Community College. Next slide. In conclusion of our presentation, we would like to open it up for questions. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to type those in using the question and answer button at the bottom of your screen, and we will try to address those for you.
There was a few that we're trying to go through while we were presenting. So there's some that I did want to answer live. So I think there was a question I talked about parking passes and student IDs. So for parking passes, yes, you can come to campus to get the parking pass. Just go to the security office located at your location. As far as student IDs, if you are taking online courses, they're all online, they're all virtual, they're all online. You don't need a student ID for now, but when we return to campus, you'll be able to get that. But if you are happen to have a face-to-face course on campus, we're asking students to call the Student Life Office number as well as the Dean of Students Office number. And I'll provide that to you, as well as our registration number to set up an appointment, just so we can know individuals that are coming at a time and we can provide that. So the first, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kristen.
One of the other questions we had received was, when and how do we find out how to access the online classes? Will the instructor reach out to go over class requirements before the class starts? Blackboard courses will not be available until the first day of class. We are told some of the instructors will provide links. Some will email a link to students directly. Some will invite you through Zoom, but everyone will have access the first day of their class.
I'll answer one question. I'm seeing there's one that states, if we schedule a meeting with an administrator, for example, a transfer counselor, can we meet with them in person, or do they have to be scheduled on Zoom only? So going back up to the initial slide that we talked about, services that are available on campus and all virtually, you kind of have both options to some degree. We are encouraging students to work through Zoom, work through having conversations with administrators through Zoom. But if you need to set up an appointment face-to-face, yes, you can meet with that individual face-to-face. You'd have to call the office and you have to speak with the administrator or that department and set up an appointment to come on campus.
There is another question. Do you have a list of landlords in the area that rent to students? Maybe a list of students looking for roommates? Unfortunately, we do not have that list currently. When we were in the on-campus environment, students would occasionally post on bulletin boards within Student Life to look for that roommate. But at this point in time, we do not have any information that we are able to provide regarding housing within the area.
If I can add to that, Dean Spiker, that's a question you can certainly reach out to our navigators regarding and get some additional information. They may know of community resources that are available to support you. And if you need that information, you can simply contact your online dean and we can get that to you.
There's one question. Do you need to make an appointment to meet with security for the parking pass? Security is probably one of the first faces that you'll see, besides the CCAC staff, but you'll see them on campus when you come to a location. So they're already front and center there. They will provide some direction. You do not need to make an appointment pertaining to the parking pass. All that we ask is that students are on location. We just, again, practice social distancing and making sure we wear our face mask.
Tying into that, are the parking passes at Allegheny campus available at security or the Student Life office? The parking passes would be available through security. and they are located within the phys ed building. We have another question. Is 14 credits considered full-time? Yes, it is. We actually consider anything beyond 12 or more credits full-time.
So question asked, did the faculty get access to full Adobe Acrobat so they can create PDFs and you can complete online? I can't speak for every educational program we have here, but I know there are some faculty who have Adobe and they have Acrobat with regards to within their course syllabus or within their program. So I can speak to some, but not everyone. But I would assume that what we can do is reach out to our faculty member, and whether you get that your course syllabus through Blackboard, that'd be one of the first conversations you have with your faculty member. Let's see. There's a question that asks, are the online classes live or recorded to be accessed at will? And I'm assuming you're asking that for your class. So let's say you're taking a sociology class and it's online. Will it be live or will it be recorded? From my understanding, especially if it's if it's a synchronous class, it will be through Zoom with your instructor, and it is technically live. But the conversation of it being recorded would be a conversation with your instructor.
There was a question about scholarships as well. Anyone interested in scholarships can go to the homepage of the website. Under About CCAC, click on the CCAC Educational Foundation, and it will be available there where you are able to apply for scholarships.
There's another question pertaining to the college providing training for instructors on a year-to-year basis and a semester-to-semester basis, especially with last semester, right? We all experiencing COVID-19 all together. We have had extensive training done pertaining to just working and working remotely and working virtually, but then trying to provide that service for students. So faculty, staff, and administrators have received training.
There's a question about having a cough due to a cold or allergies, or a temperature due to an ear infection or something else, and if students would need to miss classes. Obviously, with any temperature, we really would not want students on campus. We would want them to have the opportunity to get that checked first and foremost. Insofar as cough due to cold or allergies, we all understand that some people are going to have allergies, especially moving into that fall semester. So as long as you're completing that health questionnaire and you can identify that it is not something other than your allergies, then you would certainly be able to continue.
Was another question pertaining to, I'm trying to find it, but it was saying that if I have a lab at a specific time and then it's 30 minutes later and you won't have time to get home to see the Zoom or see the lecture. So we do have certain classrooms and labs that will be open throughout the campus and their locations. But my suggestion is making sure you talk with your instructor to inform them, so then that instructor could work with the dean of students and the other supportive services, other offices at that location, so we can make sure we provide that lab or that space open.
I see a question here asking for clarification about the process of receiving student photo IDs and who needs a student photo ID this semester.
So if you're taking classes online and they're virtual, like every one of your courses, you would not need one. But when we return on campus, that's when we could provide that. But if you do have a face-to-face class and you have to be on here, you would like to get a student ID, the location where we take the student IDs within our registration office, but we're doing those by appointment only, okay? So if you're on campus, we can set up an appointment to have your picture ID taken. I'll provide you a phone number right now if you guys can take this number down. It's 412-369-3654.
In addition to that, please be advised, we know that nursing students and allied health students need an updated photo ID for their clinical environments. We are working on getting those printed and updated, and we'll be contacting students this week to make an opportunity for them to come to the campus closest to them to have their photo IDs taken if needed.
Kate, how's it going? Any other questions coming in?
I am not seeing too many more.
Well, for everyone to know too, we do have 2 more town halls occurring. We have one tomorrow, and we also have one on Thursday. So it's the same presentation, but then there may be some questions that you didn't think to and ask today that you could probably join the session tomorrow and the session on Thursday. I think tomorrow we have it at 1, and I think Thursday's at 5.
Dr. Saintsbury, there's another question that they wanted the answer regarding online and hybrid classes. Would it be via Zoom or pre-recorded?
They'll be via Zoom.
Well, they wanted to know, yes, they want to know would they be pre-recorded or via Zoom. So
That'll be a conversation with their instructor. Thank you, Ben.
Last questions from the audience?
Well, if there's no more questions for us, again, there's 2 more town hall sessions you can attend. You have a plethora of information that we've probably thrown at you of getting, and sometimes it takes some time to digest it and go, wait a minute, I know I have one more question, right? I always do that every day. So by all means, please make sure you utilize the CCAC website, the student resources page, the COVID-19 student resource page as well. That will provide you some information, but also some contact information, right? It'll put a name to a number. And I know that may be frustrating where students are trying to reach out to with specific questions, right? Important questions, but they probably can't get a physical person, right? So even though myself, Dr. Evans and Kristen are at other locations, we service all students. So whether it be a student from a center, students from a campus, or whatever it is, we'll be able to help you and assist you, which is why the online dean component, you could reach out to us, but then you have our specific names where you could click and email us as well. So for the 52 participants that we have still here, if you do not have any other questions for us, you're more than welcome to leave.
We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
We'll still stay on just in case.
This all went very nicely.